Hello, magical ones. Welcome to the podcast. It's the Fairy Witch, and we're going to head out into the fairy garden this morning. But I wanted to do this video and talk about what is fairy craft magic. To those of you who might not know or you're interested in my perspective, and it's also known as fairy witchcraft. So it just depends on what you want to use. And so I'm going to go out in the fairy garden here, and I thought I'd talk about it. So why don't we head over? Okay, so we're out here in the fairy garden, and little brownie over there, he's right there. Join me. And so fairy witchcraft or fairy craft magic, to me, is working with all of this and working with the fairies, of course. I don't look at it as a religion. I don't look at it as, something that you do once a week, it's more with a more religious context. I kind of shy away from religion. I was born and raised Catholic, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is a very good religion, although it's very rigid. It has a lot of rules, but then again, so does a lot of them. But it's just, I don't want to go with religion. I'm not religious anymore, and I do believe in certain things. And some of the things from my past and my childhood with that religion has kind of stuck with me. But working with the fairies is, I think, more upbeat. It helps me to be a little more in control rather than expecting somebody else to do it for me. I feel a little more connected. So I don't look at it as religion. Fairycraft magic is a way to work with the fairies. It's working with magic. It's working with the universe. It's working with nature. It's working with the animals, whether they are mine or this visiting cat family that lives here in the garden. The hummingbird here, he's checking out the feeder. It's providing, and it's working with them, working with their energies. And it's a way to connect with the fairies and try to be a little more happy. My whole thing is trying to be more happy and to hang on, because right now life for me is very difficult in a lot of different ways, and it's been that way for years. And, I get a glimmer of hope, and then, it's like you take a step forward and you get pushed back 4. It's that constant struggle. But working with the magic and working with the fairies, it is helping me to at least keep going, to not give in to the pain and the uncertainty and the fear all the time. It's a chance to, a way to work with it and be happier. It also inspires my artwork. I've been an artist for over 25 years, and even though I've been in shows, I've won a competition or two, I've been in a magazine, I'm still basically undiscovered, and I don't have any celebrity, but I also don't have any income. So, it makes it very difficult to keep on going. I can't provide for the family. We're living off of, county help, and a friend of ours who's kind of our fairy godmother, thank God, has been helping us to at least keep our utilities on, and she helps us keep at least some of the basics in the house so the cats don't starve. But, she's limited what she can do too, and besides, I don't want to be a burden. I want to do things on my own. So by working with the fairies and the fairy craft magic, I'm able to do spells, work with my candles, work with the gems, and I'm trying to take control. I'm trying very much to, achieve things for myself, And so working with fairy magic and at least gives me hope, and at least helps me to try to get into control of my own life and my own problems, and hopefully come up with a resolution, you know. So for me, it's working with the candle magic. It's working with the plants. So here I grow sunflowers, and I work in the garden here. But I grow the sunflowers, so here I'm actually helping something grow. I'm bringing something to it. I'm feeding the hummingbirds. I feed the cats. I'm taking care of my own 2 cats that live in the house. And I try to work with maybe a little bit of aromatherapy, maybe not so much, but mostly candles, crystals. I use my artwork also because I use my knitting for spells, as well as to create my fairy dolls and other items that I do try to sell. It also works with the fairies and creating the dolls, which I like to do. I will do a video all about the dolls at some point. But I'm using my art. I'm using my animal connections. I'm working with the candles, and I'm working in the garden as much as I can. Trying to clean this place up, trying to grow the sunflowers. If I could afford more flowers, I would plant them, but I just can't at the moment financially. But I'm working with all these aspects, and that's what I feel is the connection. And that's what I feel that helps me connect to the fairies. And, it makes the day a little more enjoyable. It gives me something to do that I want to do, rather than something that's staring at me on the list that I have to get done or have to do for somebody else. It's my own thing. It's my own practice, which hopefully is benefiting the entire family, but it's for me, And so that's another reason that I do it. And I feel like it encompasses all these things that I do enjoy, so when I'm making my soaps, and I'm, making candles, or buying a candle and using it, or buying a new gemstone or a new crystal or whatever, and, if I'm creating a new doll, or making a new painting, or working on a sculpture, or designing something, the fairies are kind of inspiring me. Whether I recognize it or not, they are inspiring me. And it's often a fairy-related item that I'm making. So they're there with me. They're standing over me, guiding me. And I have to hang on to that, And when I work in the garden and clean up their fairy garden and give them an offering and do the moon magic on there, which I did another video of, I hope you'll check that one out, is, you're trying to connect. And I'm trying to just be happy, have something to look forward to for the day, and, something to enjoy, and I just don't have a lot of that. So I have to grasp it and hang on to it. So again, that fairycraft magic or fairy witchcraft, that's, encompasses all of that. And I do watch Wicca videos. I do watch witchcraft videos, and I'm learning what other people do and have done throughout the centuries. And I'm learning about how other people do spells for prosperity and good luck and help and health and protection and, banishing and all that. And I'm learning from other people, and I'm taking what I need from that, and I combine it into my own. And that's what a lot of the practitioners, whether you're Wicca, witchcraft, fairycraft, all of us seem to agree and say that we can kind of give you a guideline, but you've got to make it your own. You've got to make it personal. You've got to make it where it's something you want to do, that you feel connection to, that works for you. So that's what I do. And it's it was a hard lesson, because I kept trying to model everything I do after everybody else, because they're like, oh, well, this works and this works. It might not work for you, but it worked for me. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to try that. And that's fine. I mean, you could do the same thing with me. If you're going to watch a spell I do, go ahead and watch it. Go ahead and try it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, personalize it even more for you so that it does work. And that was a lesson that took me a while to finally get into my head. It was like, don't just copy, model it, take the guideline, and then use that and make it yours. And so that's what I'm starting to do after all this time. And I am a certified fairyologist 2 times. I've taken 2 different classes, earned 2 certificates. Yes, you can take classes in fairyology, which is so cool. And, I'm proud of that. It was a lot of studying, and I need to continue to do my studying. And, so that I'm always learning something new, folklore, other stories, that kind of, because it all goes into it. And so, again, that's what I work with. That's what I try to focus on. And that's how I kind of encompass everything I do into my practice. And like I say, I'm having a lot of problems. It's not just financial, though that's my biggest problem is financial problems. No income. You're struggling like crazy just to pay a simple bill. There's no money to, hire a gardener. There's no money to fix the plumbing. There's no money to replace the broken air conditioner. It doesn't work, or fix the broken heater in the house so there's no heat for the winter. All this stuff. There's so many problems. There's so many issues, and it's not just that. There is what's going on in my head, and there's relationship issues. I'm doing the best I can. But by using my practice, at least I'm trying to connect to the fairies, and it helps me get through the day. Because then you go to bed and you light the little gratitude candle before going to bed and say, okay, I made it through the day with your help. I made it through the day with the fairies being around by giving me a chance to work on the knitting, or by helping me make that candle, or, and it just simple things like that, but it gets me through the day. And so that I, haven't committed suicide yet. So it's like, okay, this is what I need to focus on. This is what I need to do so I can try to get through the day. And maybe tomorrow something good is going to happen, and some of these problems are going to go away finally. I'll finally be able to do this, or finally be able to pay for that. That is always the hope. So I really do rely on my new magical practice, which I've only been doing for like 3 or 4 years, to really, use it to try to help me. And so, it is, to the point. And so, I'm not a millionaire. I wish I was. I'm not a millionaire. I'm, like I say, I can't even pay for the basic essentials. But we're still here. We're still surviving, barely. We're existing. But I still have the hope that it's going to get better. And I light that prosperity candle. I do that prosperity spell. I, light that green good luck candle and go, come on, give me some good luck tomorrow. Help me out. Give me another day of good luck to get through it, and hopefully be able to pay for something, get something, that kind of thing. And I'm trying. And so this fairy practice helps me do that. And it might for you too, if you're having trouble as well. If you're brand new to the practice, you're not sure how to start, get some books on fairies. You need to learn a little bit about them and about their, their folklore. Some wonderful authors I can recommend are Doreen Virtue, who unfortunately is no longer in the life. It's hard to find her books now. But if you can find her Fairies 101 book, that's a good one. Sky Alexander has written fairies. It's a really good one. It's a part of a series. But the fairies one is in myth. I think it's myth, lore, and something else. I forget. But just look her up. Sky is Skye, and Alexander is her last name. Her books are available at Thrift Books, Barnes & Noble, Amazon. She's another good one. That book is really good, very well researched. There's a couple of other ones too, and I'll mention them in another video because I don't have them in front of me. But again, get some books, start learning, and get, pick something that you think you'd be interested in doing in your practice. You want to learn more about candles? Buy a candle magic book. If you want to get into gems and crystals, buy one of those. At least one. If you want to use your art, there are some artists and crafters who are also witches that written books, which are good. I forget the author's name, but one is So Witchy. That's the title, I think. It's a SEW, like a sewing machine. So Witchy is the name of the book. I don't have the author. I will either put it in the description box, or I'll show it in the next video. But again, that's another one. If you're into sewing, she does a lot of witch projects that you can sew up and make. This kind of thing. Pick something, and then start working on it. Start working with it. And it'll help you learn about the craft, and it'll help you learn how to do the art, and it'll help you to put it together, which is really simple. But for me, it took a while to kind of get that connection. Now I got it, so it's like, okay. So again, I recommend that. But that's what I do. That's how I do it, and that's why I do it. And I've got that. I'm grateful for it, because I'm still here, and I'm still hoping that things are going to improve. That's all I can say, and that's all I can do, is just hope that things are going to get better for us before it's really too late, And by doing my magical practice and working with the candles, it does give me hope, keeps me here, keeps me connected. I'm growing sunflowers, and I'm connecting with nature. And some of my favorite places are to go to botanical gardens, although I haven't been able to go in years. But there's places I love to go that, you can really get into it. But if you live near a park, then you're lucky. Go to the park and walk, walk through, feel the grass, do the grounding exercises, check out the flowers, listen to the birds. If it happens to be near a little lake or brook or something, you're even luckier. Enjoy the water, because then you're working with water magic at that point. There's so many things you can do, and like I say, I try to encompass what I can. And I would love to turn my garden here into a botanical garden. If I had the money, I would be doing that. And I'd have my own little arboretum to go to. Right now, all I can do is kind of just dream it. I come out here and imagine and dream it, So I do what I can. And that's all you can do, is do what you can. But anyway, that is my fairycraft magic practice. That is what I do. That is my witchcraft practice, if you want to call it that. Like I say, I am now encompassing or embracing the fairy witch aspect. And, I'm still here. I'm hanging on, and I'm really trying. So that is why I do it, and I thank you so much for watching this. I hope you found it interesting. Again, we really appreciate you tuning in and your little tour of the fairy garden here. Because it's just getting warm, the sun's hot, we're still in the middle of this heat wave. But these little sunflowers are finally sprouting, they're finally growing. And you saw the other ones on the other side. The one's got at least 4 blooms, and then you got the couple there in the pot, and there's another little one in the pot over here behind the bird feeder. And he's just starting to sprout. So yeah, so I'm working with nature. So this is my little tour. I hope you found this video informative. And again, if you have questions or whatever, you can leave it in the comments. If you'd like to help us and like to donate to us, that would be fabulous, and I'd really appreciate it. It's up to you. There is a PayPal link on this channel right below the channel name. Just click on that, or you can cut and paste it in your search bar. That sounds like puppies in the neighborhood barking their heads off. But you can put it in your search bar. You just click on it. Takes you right to my PayPal. And if you decide to give us something, that would be fabulous. You might be able to add a little note onto it. If you do, please put donations so that I know. and I really appreciate it. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching this. Hope you found it inspirational, and have a fairy day. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.